Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the Aftershow for Greenleaf, episode 12, House Rules, with special guest Desiree Ross. Stay tuned for more. Hey.
But you did it on the perfect part.
Welcome, Greenleaf fans.
Hey, Jesus.
You guys are listening to some special.
Jesus had his first day out too, y'all. Okay, and
Can you tell that we have a baby in here?
Right.
Hey.
We are listening to some special tunes courtesy of Desiree Ross. This is a special request.
She's the guest and she gets whatever she wants.
She might need to go back to church. But
Look, I was so here for it.
Wow.
Like, yes, T. Grizzly. Okay.
Shout out to T. Grizzly.
I dig it. As always, guys, my name is Shaka Smith. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Wow. Wow. I just want to go to the club right now. My name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. And also, as you guys know, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in Houston. You can go to ghct.org/hurricane relief to give money. And also, I'm going to be posting some stuff on my social media. You can donate clothing, food, and all that good stuff because we need to help people. People helping people.
That's what's up.
Okay, TK. I'm trying to,
You know,
alert us. Okay. Let me
now
Say
I'm
what?
being in the
Right.
club, you know?
Okay.
Jesus
First
is
day
here,
out.
damn it.
Okay. Right. First day out in the studio, and you lending a helping hand.
Just saying.
My name is Raquel Harris, and you can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom, and I got the chat lit. So let us know if you have any questions. The beautiful Desiree.
And Miss Ross, where can we find you?
Hey, my name is Desiree Ross, and all of my social medias are different. But my Instagram is Desiree Ross _. My Twitter is the Desiree Ross, and on Facebook, I'm official Desiree Ross.
Nice.
Okay.
Official. Well, thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you again.
Thank you.
So let's just get right into it. We need to have a little church section after that song, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get ourselves right back into
I'm telling you, T. Grizzly's that.
Yeah. So we actually started off with a beautiful sermon by Basie. We don't know what the inspiration for the sermon was, but a beautiful sermon. What did you guys think of, I guess, the message and Basie's sort of perhaps back way of delivering the message?
It was a beautiful sermon and a beautiful message, and I feel like not all churches are like this, but I feel like it's great to hear someone speak like that, and I think that message is needed. But unfortunately, Basie, to me, it's not genuine about the message because I feel like he has a plan. Like I said last week, he has a plan and he's trying to get Calvary, and he knows he can get it through Gigi. And it sucks because he's just doing this to get his church back, and he doesn't even care about the message. But it's such a good message.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes, Basie. But then I was like, oh, well, it's Basie saying it. He don't care.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome message, and I'm happy that they did show this on the show, so maybe more people can get the message.
Yeah, I retweet everything she said. I
like it.
I like the message. I do think that it was ingenuine, but at the same time, I think that it was something that he needed to say. I think the world needs to hear that because a lot of people like to compare sins, and if you are thinking of it in the eyes of God, obviously all sin is equal. So you can't pick and choose who you want to be in your church home. You just have to allow people to come as they are. So, and if you see it that way, but some people don't see it as a sin. So I feel like let people just be themselves and go to church and praise God because it's all the same God if you know.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting because, I guess Gigi has a showdown with the bishop about it. And I found myself going, oh, he's right. Oh, she's right. But he's right because they were both right.
Yeah, in their own ways.
Because I'm thinking it's sort of like a generational thing. What did you think about it?
No, I like what Gigi has to say about how, the church needs to take a stand and just kind of speak up for what's right, because I don't know. And speaking from Sophia's point of view, Sophia is a very I see what's right and I'm going to do it. So I think she just wants everybody to go ahead and just, preach the word. Church isn't supposed to be exclusive. It's not supposed to be like some group where you're able to shut everybody out, or just because of their sexuality or their race. It's not supposed to be like that. God loves everybody. So it's all inclusive.
You hear that,
And
Pastor Olstein?
I was just thinking about Joel. Sorry.
She's on a mission. She has an agenda.
I was like, we could have a whole other conversation about that one.
Okay, come on. Okay,
Call him out.
You better call it right.
And the thing with that is, double and second your retweets or double retweet.
There you go.
The thing with that is that I feel even though he's not necessarily the best individual to give that message, none of us are, none of the pastors are, we're all, we're all human. So it could actually be, if he was praying that, really hard that day, that Jesus had that message and he's using him as a conduit. So I can respect it, and hopefully the right people hear it, because I think as a society, we're, not ready to change. We're always kind of stuck in our own ways, because maybe 30, 40 years ago, women couldn't be part of the clergy as a church. And, now look where we are now. Right. So it's just kind of like, do you think that's really what God wants, to exclude individuals, which is his creation?
Right.
That
part. I like Shaka, you were saying, like, when Gigi and Bishop were going back and forth, there were some things I was like, I see where he's coming from. And I like the quote that he says, those who don't understand need as much love from God as much as the ones who aren't understood. So, I get it. I just wish more people were a little bit open, but Bishop's right. There are some people who just don't understand, and they need the time. I get it, but I just love the word that Basie put out there. I just feel like, not that he's not the right person, I feel like there's a plan behind it.
Yeah.
But it's good that he's getting it out, because maybe
message.
it can reach somebody while he's working on his evil plan behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's got some ulterior motive.
Oh, yeah.
Does he?
I think it's something that people can't relate to also. Like, because they're not gay, they can't understand what that means, because obviously everyone's lied at one point in their life. So they understand that sin, they can relate to it, and they feel like, oh, I should be forgiven. But because they can't relate to that sin of being homosexual, they're like, no, that's the worst thing in the world. And it's like, no, it's just a different lifestyle than yours.
And there's no urgency behind it, because they almost have that sort of quiet acceptance at Calvary. So it wasn't like, just know you're out, but just like, huh?
Just don't consider
like the army. Like,
don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell, and that's how Calvary
But is that right, or should the church be leading by example?
No, it's to me, it's stupid, because I just feel like, regardless if you disagree with it or not, what does that have to do with your life at all?
You don't need to wait till the other organizations they're filled up to open up your church.
Right, exactly.
Okay, wait. So
can we get like a shot fire?
Right.
So coming at it, looking at like the past episodes, I think like you're talking about the thing with Gigi and Bishop. I couldn't really answer well before, but I think I've come up with a good explanation. I like what Gigi has to say, and I agree that we should be preaching the message of acceptance and everything. But then on the Bishop's part, I think it's a whole money thing. Did you guys see the episodes where they were like withdrawing the money because they hired Carlton?
They didn't want to set the deacon board.
I think that's crazy. Like how churches, people who are giving a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of politics.
Yeah, and there was that little scene when Basie was giving the sermon, and we saw some of the parishioners kind of roll their eyes like, this is going too far.
Right. Like they were agreeing with everything he was saying, and then when he says the word homosexuals, they were like, wait a minute now.
There's so much judgment amongst Christians.
We wanted a good sermon, but not to like have it in our church.
It's like we're all here, we're all human, we're all here to hear the word of God. Let's not care about each other's personal life, and let's just come to church.
Right. It's just not that deep. Like at the end of the day.
My favorite part of this episode was, I guess, the bishop going a little spiritual gangster here. So, right, can we call it that?
Listen.
I loved when he confronted Basie. What did you guys think of that confrontation? And is he doing prison ministry now?
So shady.
I was just kind of like, honestly, it wasn't him confronting him that really stood out to me. I think the conversation that he had with Lady Mae afterwards was what I paid attention to the most, because I feel like that's why he went to talk to Rochelle afterwards. And I feel like that's an issue with Carissa too. They're not overstepping their bounds, but at the same time they're not getting what they need from their wives, and they're not listening to them, and that's making them pay attention to something else. Not saying that they should, because they're married, especially underneath the Lord, but at the same time, like, I hated seeing him try to tell her about a story, and she's just cutting him off, saying like, "Okay, I really don't care about."
Just want to hear the broad strokes.
Right. That's right.
And it's like, listen to your husband. Like, you may think that it's BS what he's talking about, but just listen to what he's saying and just hear him out, and then share your piece afterwards. Don't make it seem like what you have to say is so much more important.
Whereas Rochelle was eating it up. She loved it. She was, oh my God.
But see, whenever your spouse isn't giving you what you need in the relationship, it doesn't mean you should cheat. But at the same time, that's why people seek out.
Yeah. But that's where the communication comes in. It's just kind of like we always tend to treat our loved ones horribly once we're all comfortable.
Yeah.
And as the person who feels like they're being neglected, you should tell that person like, hey, I know we're comfortable right here, but this is how I'm feeling. And I'm not saying that I'm going to step out on you, but just I'm kind of
pushing
giving
it.
Yes, let's
pushing
communicate.
it. So then if it does happen, it's like, look, we had this conversation like 6 months ago.
But,
Still don't
Not to say that you should, but if you
Cheating
were
is
to
bad.
supposedly fall on the penis or
By accident
slip.
T Grizzly, turn it on.
Earmuffs.
If I asked you how old you
Desiree.
were, if you were to accidentally fall in, it's like, look, we had this conversation like 6 months ago. I've been trying to tell you every month, and
So you
Not
can't be
every
too
month.
surprised.
Yeah.
is what you're
Once a
saying. You
month.
can't be
Yeah.
too
But you know,
surprised.
I do like that Bishop called out Basie because he know he up to something too.
Yeah.
And he told him like, and I like how he like lowered his voice and he's like, look. Because like Keith
You're
David,
flailing.
like I love this role that he plays because he plays a bishop because of his past roles. He usually plays the bad guy. So I believe him as a bishop. But when he came to see Basie, I was like, oh, right, Mr. David? Like, all right, Bishop. But you got to remember, like, Mae cut him off because she just want to be nosy and find out what's really going on with Jacob and Carissa.
Right.
So she has her own little plan, but it's right because he went to her. She didn't really pay attention. And little Miss Rochelle was just touching his
All
leg.
ears. Okay.
that was a conversation on the chat last week with the comments. People were saying, well, does Bishop know that Rochelle's trying to get some chocolate, or is he just
He's
Naive.
oblivious. And to me, he's still oblivious, but I think
no, he's been. I mean,
You
I
been
think
on
he's
my
oblivious, but
mind.
he likes the attention.
And he's focused on the money. He was like, oh, member of Cavalry, cha-ching, So
Yeah.
But Lady
yeah.
Mae know what's going on because now
Yeah.
she's behind the scenes trying to figure out what's really going on with Rochelle.
Yeah, but I think this special relationship they're developing will at some point occur to Bishop. Like, wait a minute, I have options.
Yeah.
But we'll
I
see.
think she's gonna play him too, in some way. Because we found out about her past too a little bit.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But we also had Zora and Isaiah, and so I guess you could speak to that. You could speak a little bit to that. What was your reaction, I guess, as Sophia and just as you to what's going on and like as a young woman growing up and that relationship kind of going fast?
Well, I got a lot to say about this subject. Let me think. Where do I begin? Okay, for starters, you can kind of already tell that she's in a controlling relationship where he's very disrespectful to her. And I think that because she's so blinded by love, that she's completely shut out the fact that she's like failing herself. And so that's where I'm like, draw the line. Boy, bye. You ain't that important. I gotta do me.
yes.
At the end of the day, I'm here to take care of me, and you're just
right. She said, "I'm a
you're,
Greenleaf."
you're entertainment.
So do you bring
Okay.
some of Desiree to this character?
Do I what?
Bring some of Desiree to Sophia when you're kind of like telling Zora,
I
hey.
mean, yeah, I'm kind of like, girl, what are you doing?
Confused. Okay.
Like, are you really? First of all, I'm your cousin. Like, me and Lovey in real life, we're like sisters. Like, she's like one of my best friends. So it's kind of like seeing her on TV, like all over this boy, even though like, it's kind of hard for me to like see them as their characters and not see them as like real life.
Right.
Like when they're like cuddling and stuff, I'm like, bro. I'm like, they're tight as like friends, but it's like
weird.
it's so weird. So it's like seeing them together is like super weird. But anyways, no, so sheesh, I don't even know.
Yeah. Zora's in a
It's-
lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot. You can kind of just tell that it keeps going downhill, and she's doing nothing to stop it. She's not setting any boundaries. And I guess for Sophia, I feel bad for Sophia because Sophia's feeling really left out, and she wants attention from her cousin, and she also wants to help kind of draw her cousin out of, this toxic relationship that she's in. Because Sophia kind of sees her going down a bad path, but what can you do or say to her without pushing her away?
Right.
Because, she can tell her all she wants, but the thing is Zora's not going to get it through her head because Zora doesn't want to get it through her head.
Yeah.
And so,
At that age.
So that's what I was about to ask. Oh God, I feel like so old doing this. But anyways, given the fact with social media and everything that's playing a role, how do you feel as yourself and the character? Do you feel pressured to be sexy, to do all this stuff? Because it feels like Zora's definitely in that role. Like, well, I need to do this, and it's okay to do that because Kylie's out here.
right.
I was just
taking
about
it
to
off.
use her as an example.
Yeah.
She's making it okay for.
I think it does play a big role. I mean, you just see other girls like out there and they're like, younger than me, I guess. And I see them like doing all of this stuff, and I know I'll just be thinking like, how did they get away with that? How do people not like like for me though, I'm glad that I'm on a Christian show because people have higher standards for me. So I find myself having higher standards for myself, you know, not wanting to go out all scandalous looking, you know, very provocative, trying to show everything for attention and likes and followers. I just kind of have to do what I want to do and try and remain as classy as possible, as subtle as possible, leave a little more to the imagination. But I think it makes it, but it is really hard. Like I've had some different like little photo shoots where I've done stuff on the more risque side, just so that people don't get like, I don't want them to just see me one way and always classy
in a box
and put me in a box, you know, like just like always saying, oh, she's the like the good little Christian girl. Like I can be the good little Christian girl, but if you hire me in a movie to play the little bad girl,
T. Grizzly's girlfriend, or the thug, like
we ready.
She said, I got that. I got that.
Ready.
I'm gonna come at you like a train, full force. Okay.
She got the hands.
She said, period.
I think that you have been doing an amazing job, and I think that like you know, like TK mentioned, like a lot of girls have like the Kylies and stuff like that, but we see you and Lovey on a great show, and I think that you guys are a great role model, especially for girls of color. So,
and I want to say to touch on that too. I like that you are doing those different shoots to figure out what you like too, whether it be a little bit more scantily or more risque, because I feel like that is a part of you as an artist. You'd have to have that point in your life where you grow up, and the world you have to force the world to not see you as that little girl anymore.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to get people to acknowledge that I'm like 18 now.
You're older than the character.
Yeah.
And you're not Sophia.
I'm older than my character, and I'm not Sophia. I'm not on the road to being a preacher. I am an actress. I mean, and the world, I mean, a lot of it too, it's a lot of pressure, like to be one way or to be another. And so it kind of feels like a pull, because it's like, you know, so many people, like they say, you know, if you want to be famous, then you see all these girls that are famous and they're out here and they're posting bikini shots and, you know, they have their butts out and big lips, or I mean,
very,
you know,
not theirs.
Like dramatized, over exaggerated features.
And you see 13-year-olds wearing like purchased exactly. You see 13-year-olds wearing full faces of makeup. Like I have on like a full face, but I'm a little older than 13.
So. But here's the thing. Just when people tell you stuff like that, you are 18, but you look younger.
I look
and
so much
you
younger.
have some melanin in your skin.
Girl, okay.
You don't need to buy nothing, because when all those people who are wearing the makeup and buy all that stuff and they look like they're 30 and they're 18,
it's
and
sad.
when you hit 25 and you still look like you're 17, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay. And when you're in your 30s and you're still carded and they're 25 and they
oh
look
my
80.
gosh, that was So I have a story to tell. So I was out with these three Caucasian ladies. We went to this restaurant.
You don't need to drop your voice.
Caucasian ladies.
We went to this restaurant, and I know I'm older than these ladies. Right. And the bartender looked at me, then looked at them, and like asked me for my cards. And the girls got offended. I'm like, dude,
I can't help it.
I can't help it that I was born this way.
Don't crack.
Right. Okay. God said you have it and you do.
God bless me with this beautiful skin.
You know.
Well, speaking of cracks,
That's a great segue.
we see some cracks with Jacob and Carissa, which really went from like kind of almost playful to really kind of blowing up towards the end. What did you guys think about that sort of initial Jacob needs to find a job and how he handled it towards the end?
Okay, so this is how I feel. I feel like Carissa, honestly, like I go through a love-hate relationship with Carissa. I love that she's a powerhouse and she tries to lead her home. Or not tries, she does lead her home along with Jacob.
And she's had to.
Yes, absolutely. But it was, to me, a conflict of interest when you're telling your man to step up. And he's trying to find his way to step up. And it's sad because she wants him to be a provider, but he needs to provide. So at the same time, while he's finding himself, she's right. You can't have us just in the dark not knowing what's going on, literally and figuratively.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that was a struggle for me to feel to know exactly how I felt about it, because I know if I was Carissa, I'd be pissed too. And it's like, I need you. I don't want you to give up on what you do. But I wouldn't have referred to what his passion was as a hobby.
Right.
Like I feel like she sneak dissed him.
That's a diss.
And
that's
and as not as a man, but for men out there, I know that ego is such a strong strong thing for men. Yeah. So I would have never taken a shot at his pride and his ego like that, because I feel like she just came off as bitter, and just rude. Like I honestly, and that's probably why he was cheating.
Right.
I totally agree with you. I get where Carissa's coming from because they have kids.
Yeah.
Like I think if they didn't have kids, it'd be different.
We're
you know, they can downsize. We struggle together.
Yeah.
We Bonnie and Clyde. We got it.
Yeah.
But because they have a family, they have kids. I think as a mama bear, she's now like, I'm here with you.
Right.
I love you. You cheated. We here. But you got to put them lights.
You got a responsibility.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Her cutting him down like that, like calling it a hobby, like.
See, I mean, I didn't mind that so much because I in my mind she'd been dealing with this kind of silently for a minute.
She'd
been like, okay,
Yeah.
just get it together and dropping hints here and there, and finally she's like, look, you know.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem, though. I think at the end of the day, he knows he's a father and he knows he's a husband, right? I don't think he's gonna put his family in a position where they're homeless. You know, I think.
I'm just saying a lot of women complain about that.
Right, but I think
But he almost
that's,
might though. It seems
yeah,
like he's willing to.
I don't think it is. I think a lot of women, myself included, where we have the ultimate plan. Like, look, this is what we're gonna do, and this is where I see the family, and this is how we're gonna do it. And you don't want, like, if they're driving a car, you don't want it to go all the way down to E, because you know where your car's gonna stop. Right. Whereas some people, I feel like with him, it's just like he knows his car can go a little bit past E, and the car is still gonna drive. And I think he will not. I don't. Other people, yes, but I don't see him letting his family suffer. And I think Carissa's just to the point where it's like something has to happen. Something has to happen.
She's scared.
And you have to, scared. And you have to kind of let it breathe, because I definitely think he has a purpose for the family. Yeah. And if that doesn't happen, then he's gonna get a job. Like I don't think You don't think he's gonna
get to that last?
Yeah, he's not gonna get to that last point where it's like we're banging on the street.
But he didn't say God, like let God work. So what if he feels God is working?
That's what I was going to say. So because there's some people like their situation. Like I know he won't let them get there because he has a family. They can always go home. But there are some people who get caught up, gamblers for instance, where they get so caught up where they feel like, no, I got this, and they put their house. You know what I'm saying?
Well, gambling is a little different.
It is, but I mean, he's sitting there like, let God handle it. But what if God ain't talking to you
the
today?
Lord helps them who helps themselves.
The point that they made about, or Chris had made, Jacob had made, saying like, but you've been tearing me apart since day one,
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when I'm doing something good, I may not be exactly where you need me to be, but I'm getting closer to that. I'm not cheating anymore, even though you shouldn't be cheating.
Yeah, because day one you were cheating, so that
right,
was on you.
exactly. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, day one of us watching the show.
You've been cheating on me. I'm like, don't be trying to throw that in my face.
But I mean, if he's taking I feel like in the man's mindset, some men's mindset, that's his step to bettering himself.
Yeah.
Well, no, you shouldn't cheat at all. It's
but
stupid.
Considering again, I mean, I definitely agree with it, but I can see why people do it, and the fact that he was so bold and brazen. He's in the church, and he's doing that, and his family's running the church. The fact that he's doing that I feel like with Carissa, she's pushed him to that point where he doesn't even care.
Yeah,
like
he's unhappy.
No two F's given about that. So the fact and then he's more of a follower than a leader, because for to let Carissa push him to that extent and let her run the show, and then still go back to her, and then still, like, you have to kind of really realize your role. So he can't get upset at her because she's always been like that.
That's like she's been the boss. She's been wearing the pants in that family while you were out doing your thing, which I get.
She had no choice.
She's been the one who stepped up and was like, well, you're going to embarrass me and cheat. I'm the boss. And she's a pushy person, and you know who your wife is.
Yeah. She's guaranteed coming from a pushy person. Like, you are that's nothing there.
And you're married to this woman, so you know who she is. Like,
but I wouldn't have overstepped. Like when they had the conversation with the parents, it's like that's not your place. Like
she's always out of place.
No, like it's like you're out of pocket all the time.
When Chris decided she's gonna snitch.
When she was like,
snitch
and it's like, and then when they had just had dinner and they were leaving, and it's like, girl, why? At least don't do it in front of me.
Yeah.
Like,
you know why I think she's doing it? I think she thinks because she can't get through to Jacob, maybe his parents can.
Yeah.
But it's like you're overstepping a little bit because he's trying to be a man. He doesn't
But
want to rely on mommy and daddy.
I just know she's overstepping if every time someone plugs in a thing.
Yeah,
the
that
lights
is
go
true.
out. Like,
As a mother
Now
and a
it's
wife,
time to
it's like you
do
gotta.
something.
That's when you overstep.
But I do like those. She told him, she's like, you know, you can still preach, you can still do your thing.
Yeah.
Just get a part-time job. Like she
Yeah.
didn't say don't do it at all. Though she did throw a jab at him, which was low. But I like that, you know, she was like, oh, you can still do this. I'll still support you, but which we know she's still gonna be pushy, no matter what he does.
It's like,
But,
you get a
you know,
job.
the one couple that confounds me a little bit is Charity and Jabari. Because I don't know
they're
what's
weird.
going on. Yeah, I don't know if you had any. Right? Did you have any insight into what's going on there? You're a little bit closer to the ground.
Boy, let me tell you, I got a lot of insight.
Girl, let us know, girl.
Y'all saw the way she was looking at him?
Yeah.
Oh no,
wants
she
didn't
just
want
had a
anything.
baby.
She ready.
Her husband and her just got divorced. He literally just ran away, and she's over here not worried about her baby daddy, her ex-husband who she was incredibly in love with. No, she's over here flirting with Jabari, getting upset that she doesn't have to go to Nashville anymore. Cause guess, y'all trying to take a guess what was happening on them Nashville trips?
My.
What was she missing? Why was she missing it so much? Definitely not her ex-husband. Let me
I'm
just.
trying to teacup so I
I
can
know,
sip it.
right?
But why is Jabari not following up?
Yeah.
Like he's
Like, is he
It's a
leading her
baby.
on? Right?
Oh no, I'm thinking about.
no, Jabari.
I'm mad at Kevin.
Yeah.
I need Kevin to do something.
Kevin ain't coming back.
Kevin's gone.
Okay.
But
Gone.
does anyone have a read on Jabari?
No, it's funny because when Charity and Gigi were sitting together, she's like, I don't know if he's gay. I don't know because I can't read him. Which is, she said it like she can't read him, and I don't know if he feels like he wants to be safe and not cross that line, or he's scared because she just had this big thing with Kevin and the
seems to
baby.
keep flirting with her.
He
right?
flirts, but then he pulls back a little.
Yeah, I think he's afraid of touching that gray area.
I think he wants to use her. I think he wants to use her for writing. I don't think he really likes her. I think he knows that they would collab very, very well together, and I don't think it's gonna be anything more.
His
Or maybe it's
flirtation
like-
seems genuine.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's just
he
like
gets
one
her
of those
hot.
things where, yes, he does.
Not gets her hot.
Maybe it's one of those things where it's like it always makes it a little bit easier to work with someone when you have like a crush on them, even like in the slightest form. You know, so like okay, say for instance, if I'm on set, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable to go to set every day if you have like a set crush or something.
Who you got a set crush on?
Well,
Nobody.
what days enjoyable?
She said, please. This was just
I thought you were
a
speaking from
joke.
experience.
Yeah,
you know?
you too young for Mr. Fox, but
Oh, we were
yeah.
talking-
She said, look.
she's like, I know he
Yeah.
plays
those
my
was
stepdad.
jokes. I was fooling you.
Mr. Fox is cool.
That's a good one.
Well, speaking of that, that relationship went south kind of
He's
quickly.
so
and then
weird
it
to
kind
me.
of- But this was the first episode I was like actually rooting for them together.
Yeah.
First time.
No.
First episode I
Oh, so
actually.
y'all feel
Because
powerful.
this entire time I have not been for Darius. I've been
Right.
like, why is he even here?
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
He opened up.
This time I was like,
For a second though, there, I was like, "Come on, man, why are you giving up so easy?"
Exactly.
Like, yeah,
Time.
if she's worth having, then at least work for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't give up on it so easy. Don't walk away and just call it quits. Like, there's nothing between you, or like she isn't special and she isn't worth trying to stick around
Right.
for. Because that just kind of like totally makes her feel
like you never
down
cared.
yeah.
yeah, like you just like never cared, like just like not valued like she should be. I don't
And
know.
you felt that in the scene when she was just like, that's it. Like,
Like,
yeah.
She said no, and she
Like,
said, "Come on."
She's like,
No,
come
I
on,
think
D.
I think he,
Andy.
I think he cared for the moment. You have people who, you know, they might care about you for the moment. It's not all about getting, you know, the cheech. But I think he cared. I think he cared for the. Yeah, you ever heard the cheech?
I like
No.
that. The cheech.
Cheech.
I'm gonna
Y'all
start
know
using that.
cheeches, though,
The
right?
cheech.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Chong.
Well,
I
we
know
can-
teachers.
I know Chong. We
Yeah,
all
I
know
know
cheech.
teach.
So it just like he cared for the moment, but it just
We are a
wasn't.
mess.
Again, like I said last week, and like I said the week before, and like I said last season.
You're not here
like,
for that.
She's in the church, even if even if she doesn't, she's no longer an assistant pastor and all that stuff, it's not gonna work. Like if they were in another state or something and, you know, they're just living regular lives, but
I think now that he finally opened up and he broke
Yeah,
down,
he told the truth.
Because what's the point of
once he
opening
told
up?
the truth,
I'm happy that he finally opened up because at first I was like, come on, bro.
and it
like,
might give him a
don't do
doorway to
that.
go back into the church because
Yeah.
now she knows why.
Because at least
Right.
now she could
Go.
probably motivate him to be like, all right, I know your wife, the situation happened, and I know that you're not here for it, and it's difficult. But maybe like, you know, slowly but surely. Because I'm like, Darius, you got to open up. You can't say I'm
Yeah.
doing it, but you close out on me.
It's just too much back and forth with me.
But
like,
he already gave up on her before, so why?
I know that's what I'm saying. It's not that. It's just Gigi
Right.
obviously needs some loving in her life. Though
she needs some loving. She
No,
needs some fight.
well,
Earmuffs.
I just feel like that's the only thing that's closest to her that's giving her some type of passion. I feel like, or not passion, but just comfort. I feel like she needs it from somebody, and I think
That's why I love the
the
scene with her and Charity because they both kind of didn't get the loving that they thought they were gonna get, and they had to eat the ice cream, and they're like, "Well, girl, you didn't get it either."
Yeah.
Go to the shop, the adults only store.
Earmuffs.
Oh, earmuffs.
Get yourself-
times 10.
Get yourself Peter. And
Ew,
you're good to go.
that's the
Is that
name.
Peter?
I don't know.
Okay, that's-
I have a guy named. Get yourself a Shaka.
Hey.
Oh no, actually follow Shaka on Instagram though.
That's all you
with
need
those
to
thirst
do.
Traps. Just saying.
Shaka be
Motivation
ready.
right there.
Like this took a U-turn, okay? Desiree, I'm with you. I'm on the same ride you on. I'm like, what's going on?
All of us are.
And for a second, I tried to take off my earmuffs because I thought I wouldn't be able to hear anything, and it just got louder.
I was like, right. That's how I feel too. It just keeps getting louder.
We a hot mess.
My
The other one
favorite,
who first started that thug song, and we just continuing it.
my favorite part of the episode, and I don't know if you guys feel this, it's still the beauty between Lady Mae and Gigi. It hasn't been like a nice 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
of
Were they
just-
not beefing?
But yeah, it's just so nice.
Even
Like
though
when they
she
kiss
told-
each other that morning.
She's like, you look tired.
You look tired.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
You
I
look
will
exhausted.
take it. I will take it because.
But she gave her the hug and the kiss. I love seeing that.
But that's
Yeah.
a mom though. I feel like that's a mom response
Yeah.
to something like,
Yeah.
oh, you gaining a little weight. Okay,
like,
thanks.
thanks, I
Yeah.
didn't ask you.
Because they're the most blunt people in your life. I feel
That's
like.
what I want to see them team up and have a little scheme together
Yes.
or something. But
Not a scheme.
But you know, you're right
some
because
sort of,
Lady
like-
Mae now has a plan. She got two things she got to figure out. Basie getting him out the way, Rochelle getting her ass out the way, excuse my language, and possibly finding out what Jacob is up to. So that's why she can't really be negative towards Gigi. And you know, she feels for her daughter.
Yeah.
Her daughter just went through something traumatic. She has her eyes on
Yeah,
like
we need to
other
get
things.
Rochelle out the way real quick.
So now
Michelle gotta go.
Now we gotta
Yeah.
go into predictions. We're gonna start. We'll let you do predictions last, and whatever you can predict, if anything at all, I don't know. But we'll also zoom in on your face as we make our predictions, so that
Right.
Zoom in on your face.
Right, so we can
We're
find
gonna
out.
zoom in on your face.
So when we're talking and you make,
Why don't I just keep the shot on her the whole time?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
you just hear our voices. So you just wink if we're right.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so my predictions.
She's like, I'm trying to keep a job, yeah.
I'm gonna be over here like.
I feel like, all right, let's see. Lady Mae is on a mission, and I believe she's going to get Rochelle out the paint now that she found out what her real secret is, which was very like slick of her. I love that. It's going to be, I think she's going to find out more secrets about Rochelle, like what Rochelle's really up to, what she's doing, because she did mention she had a connection with Basie and she was at that church, and because Basie's so shady, maybe there was something shady going on over there too. So I feel like all that's going to open up. Jacob and Carissa, I feel like she's going to push him away a little bit more, and I don't think he's going to cheat, but I think she's just going to push him away. Kind of hope that he does get the job. And being that he walked in on Zora, what she was doing, which was really crazy, but I feel like Desiree was saying, Zora is so caught up, she doesn't realize that she's in this horrible situation.
Messy.
And from the preview that we seen, it looked a little messy. And I love that Jacob stood up and did what he had to do and kick homeboy out, but I'm hoping that like he literally kicks this little boy's ass. Gigi, I feel like is on a mission, and I'm happy that her and Bishop had their thing, and I think she's gonna keep going with the whole gay thing in the church. God loves gays, that was said, but I also think that Basie's up to something. I think he's using her to get his church back to take down Calvary, and that's where I'll leave it.
Well, as always,
As I look at Desiree.
Yeah, I agree. But I my only prediction, I would say, I think that Jacob is gonna get tempted to cheat. I do. I think he's gonna. I don't think he'll do it. Yeah, I don't think he'll do
That's
it.
true.
But I think Jacob's gonna be like, I'm sick of this, and I'm just tired, and I'll keep paying the bills, but and
What
I
bills?
like how he was like, you need to pay attention to your daughter because you ain't been helping your family. Talking about you staying at home and you doing your job, but you're not doing your job. So yeah, I think that Carissa's gonna get a taste of her own medicine, and No, I do. I'm
looking at her.
Or what if
Carissa is
what if he pushes Carissa and she cheats?
Nah, whatever. Because Carissa's, I'm declining. She's control delete. So she's just so annoying. Carissa
Get her out
is so
the paint.
annoying. She is. It's like her attitude is just whack. Like it's like as much as I try to like love her because she is a great wife, she is a good mom, but at the same time it's like, girl, you just have so much anger in you, and it's like, where is this?
She needs Jesus.
She got to go to somebody, some
she needs
kumbaya,
lights.
something.
She needs
Okay,
electricity.
but she's like, you could tell like she was either like an only child. Sorry, only children.
I'm an
Hey,
only
I'm an
child.
only child.
That makes complete sense.
No, she seems no. Nakia, y'all, is a good only child. She's not weird.
You don't see her outside the studio, though.
I see her outside the studio,
I do see
y'all.
her outside
She
the
can't be
studio.
trying to come for me. I'm a great only child.
She's a
Wait, I was a good only child.
Yeah.
Because
That's how
my
my brother
mom
was
didn't
born.
play. Like I was the only child, but she made sure like this ain't
Yeah.
TV. Like you can get some things, but you have to know
got.
boundaries. You will get got.
By mom.
I was only an only child for like 5 years.
Aw.
You're like my sister says that. Oh, I was an only child.
Wasn't that the best time in the world?
I like having my little brother.
Oh, you're a good big sister.
I used
That's
to
my
want
big sister.
I used to want siblings until I got 10 and I realized all the Christmas gifts were from me and I was like, oh, we Gucci.
Whatever. Unhealthy life you live. No. I feel like Chris is an only child, and
Yeah,
maybe
I can
not
see it.
necessarily literally, but figuratively, she is an only child because she just wants everything like all the time to be. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, just shut up. I just need her to shut up. Just type in, shut up.
Yeah, she needs Jesus, or she needs to listen to, if you don't know who Eric Thomas is, the hip hop preacher, she needs some of that.
Oh my gosh. No, she needs to listen to nature sounds.
He'll change your life. If you don't know who Eric Thomas is, the hip hop preacher, just Google him. He will change your life.
Literally,
I'm
though.
literally telling you.
Maybe she needs loving too. Maybe he's not giving it to her.
Oh yeah, maybe she does need some pipe.
Maybe
Oh,
he
for real.
air muffs.
Air muffs.
Air muffs over there.
Retroactive ear muffs.
Put them air muffs on.
She sounds like a person who's trying to get a rich husband. Like that's how she sounds to me sometimes. Like, oh, I want money. I need you to do this. I need you to do
The
this.
way
She
he
wants-
raised-
She just wants a standard of living.
Yeah.
where, like, a
But
basic-
why are you like? I totally understand that. But why are you on edge all the time? Like
Because
she's
you
on
know-
edge all the time. She's on edge with Gigi. She's on edge with Jacob. She's on
Yeah.
edge with
That's
everybody.
it, yeah.
That's
She's
out-
controlling.
Yeah, she's
Yes,
controlling.
and it's
controlling.
like, girl, like
But
Gigi
maybe
gotta
she need,
slap
maybe
her
the
up.
way he raised his voice, maybe he needs to give her the. Sometimes you need that.
I'm
Sometimes
like,
you
what?
need that good like grab you by the neck, sit down.
Okay,
I got this.
You said she's so East Coast. She's from East Coast, y'all. She crazy.
Sorry.
She crazy.
Maybe she might need air muffs.
Okay.
Wow. I retweet a lot of that you guys said. Yeah, definitely. This is a real life situation. Carissa, she needs to calm down. And it's not until her situation's gonna hit rock bottom because the lights and everything she thinks she can control. But the moment she doesn't have a husband,
Okay.
and she finds out her daughter is doing some trifling things, it's like she has to step back and say, wait,
What am I doing?
Everything that I've been controlling is not working. So man, I need to take a step back. Yeah, Rochelle needs to get out of the picture. I love me some Lady Mae, even though it's gonna get messy because she's gonna do it without telling the bishop, because what she really needs to do is tell the bishop, like, look, I see this girl circling you like a shark. You need to figure it out, get rid of her, because or else I'm gonna do it. That's what she needs to do. But of course, for television's sake, it's gonna get nice and messy. And Rochelle, I don't know if she's gonna fight back, but I kind of hope she does.
Ooh, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think Lady Mae will neutralize Rochelle, because Lady Mae's also about the money too. So she's gonna be like, we do need Rochelle's
She's
cash.
about the image.
Yeah. So I think she's gonna find a way to neutralize her. I think we're gonna see Kevin will come back soon. I believe he's got the child.
It's like, call the police.
He's got the child.
Kevin Guy. He's in like Dubai.
He said, I'm going to the
his
store. I'll be
lover.
right back.
He found somebody in Dubai.
I'll be right back.
I think Kevin's coming back, especially with the message that we're seeing in the show. I think he'll come back and there'll be some sort of like real acceptance of him. In
And
the
Aaron.
church, like maybe Aaron as well, and a true acceptance. I do think we'll see Aaron again too. What else do we have? I think Jacob and Carissa will see a break, but I think when they find out that child is beating their daughter and is already getting a little loose, I think that they're gonna come together as parents, and that might be what brings them back together.
Can't wait to see
I would
that.
love to see what his home is like. Because I wonder her
Isaiah?
boyfriend
Isaiah.
Oh,
Isaiah.
yeah,
I would
we
love
don't
to
see
see
much
what
of
her,
his. Yeah, we don't see much.
because
of
I just want to know like what makes a child. He's so young to be that way.
Yeah,
like,
but he's been handed stuff too, like meaning
no,
that,
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But I
So-
guess I want to know where the aggressiveness comes from. Like, oh, you had to be there. It's like I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
are you? Do you want to be my date? Like, what do you want from me?
You got an
Yeah.
attitude, like.
like, yeah, like what is your backstory?
I wish somebody
I think,
would.
I think
might-
we might get. Maybe we'll get some of that, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish somebody
then-
would. I don't even have kids, but
I did call.
I'll call Pookie from the block.
You gotta die.
But
Isaiah's
Jacob was
done.
close.
Jacob-
You saw the way he grabbed his back.
I
and
was
that
happy.
strong-
I was happy because the look he
Yeah.
gave her and the look he gave her. He gave her that look like, you know I'm gonna beat your ass.
But I'm glad he handled it very well. Though.
He did.
For that
Perfectly,
first time. It was
Perfectly,
like,
perfectly. Not knowing what's already happened, he handled
Right.
it.
right,
perfectly.
because he could get in that ass.
So any predictions that you can give us?
I know everything that's gonna happen.
Oh, you
so
do. You actually know every.
I know just about.
Okay, so we don't want to get you in trouble. No predictions
Yes,
from you
we
then.
want-
Wait, I mean, I could
Just
go
hint
off of
something.
logic.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you know, things with Zora are gonna go downhill.
Oh yeah, we can see
I
that
think-
quickly.
I think Zora and Sophia are gonna kind of drift apart a little.
Ugh, well, that
I
happens
can
a lot.
see it.
I
Okay, no more predictions. From
No
you.
more predictions.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
She's
I'm like, I don't want.
She's like, I don't know what to say.
I don't want Lady O to make the call like
I know.
Desiree.
Can I ask you a question? Sophia's not gonna be fast, is she? She's not gonna try to.
I don't think she can.
What?
In the dynamic of the relationship.
Is
with the
Sophia-
cousin.
well, I don't think. Someone asked me this on Instagram Live like yesterday. I don't think she would be Sophia if she did. I think it could go either way because she could be a little curious and let her guard down for a second so that she can, you know, appeal to being a normal.
So she'll get to like
teenager.
second base, but not
Yeah.
like the full home run.
I'm telling y'all.
But
Well,
I
nothing wrong
think
with second base.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool for the show to show, you know, like a Christian abstinent teenage couple.
yes.
You know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's like something that I've been like very like, you know, I think
Yeah.
it's like, because not a lot of TV shows are showing that, and
Yeah.
it just shows teenagers that there's other options.
Yes.
You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, and here's what it looks like to do this. And it might be a little harder for you because that's not what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's what you've decided you want to do, there's a way that you can go about it and get through it.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
And there's
that.
nothing
Until-
wrong
until
with-
season
yeah,
3.
there's nothing
Damn.
Well, I saw you saw that was it Desiree had she did this little thing about a show she wanted
Oh,
to see.
yeah.
She said, everybody watch 90210 for Donna.
Hey,
Issa Rae.
I love her.
Oh man. Anyways,
But I definitely like seeing that. That's a good thing. We
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
it's funny how we take like a Tim Tebow, even though he's older, and even somebody from, oh my gosh, I think it's from.
Oh, yeah, Yvonne
Yvonne.
from,
You know,
Insecure.
they've admitted that they've said that they're virgins, which is a good
Yeah.
thing. There's
I
no
like,
wrong
I
with
like
that.
that.
yeah.
So I mean,
like
definitely
they do exist.
They do exist.
They're out there.
And I would love to see the character. It's one
Yeah.
thing when they do a character and it just is so annoying. It's like annoying. It's like, oh, I'm doing it. But it's another thing to see somebody who's struggling with
Yes.
it and
And-
decides to do that.
Place in reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever sexuality you do at
mean-
a right age, obviously, then live your life.
I know. I think it's. I don't know. I think for Sophia is very like she sees the difference between what's right and wrong, and like I said, she chooses to do what's right, and she tries to do everything that's Christian and everything. But I think she does see Zora going off and doing this and talking about, oh, it was interesting, or
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
this, and so she still has that little bit of curiosity there, like.
Yes.
What is that like? Do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? Then there's the Bible, and the Bible says not to do it. And, I want to be a preacher, and I want to follow my mom's footsteps, and I want to do what's right with God because I want to be right with God. So it's kind of like all these
The
different,
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And Zara
all these
didn't
different
really-
things coming.
It's good to see
Yeah.
that struggle though, because you're
Yeah.
human,
Yeah.
and everyone's human,
Yes,
and
that's
everyone
what-
goes
Yeah.
through these struggles.
Yeah.
And we like you. We want to see you. I want to see you have a nice,
Yes.
clean storyline.
And then,
I think-
and then
but
Zara didn't
Yeah.
really sell it either. She says, I.
She's like, if
Well, I mean, right now, a lot of people really like my character just because she's, like, extremely pure and very, like, simple with no ulterior motives, and she's
Right.
just, like, wanting to do what's right.
Just help.
And yeah, she just wants to help. She just wants to like do good and benefit
just like
everybody
her
around
mama.
her.
That's right.
Yeah. So and you know, find justice. So I think for them to like go a different route other than her maintaining like her character and like, you know, staying abstinent or whatever.
Right.
I think that would be, I don't know, it would be very interesting if they decided to go a different route with Sophia, just because it would break everyone's perspective of her being the good girl or the solid character that you can kind of compare everyone else to when they're off doing this
Well,
bad
hopefully
thing
she
or
stays
this.
solid a little bit longer.
Well, that's the beautiful
we
thing
just
about it.
really
Though.
want to thank you for joining us again. This has been amazing, awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love being here with you guys.
Come back and kick it with
Come back.
us.
You have to come back.
I will.
And play T Grizzly every time you come.
Yeah.
Well, again, guys, thank you for joining us. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
You can definitely find him on Instagram.
TK is turned up TK. Okay.
Like I said,
that's your new nickname. Turn up
Turn up
TK.
TK.
I'm just telling the truth. You should see him. Follow him. You should see him. So I'll bring it down a little on the slow side. Definitely go to jhct.org/hurricane relief to donate, and you can go on my Instagram at TK Trinidad and find all those stuff to help our people, because we're a human race, to overcome the hurricane that came up.
Yes, crazy. Once again, my name is Raquel Harris, and you can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV.
Hey guys, I'm Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
And Miss Ross?
Hey, my name is Desiree Ross. You can find me on Instagram at Desiree Ross _ on Twitter as the Desiree Ross, and then on Facebook as official Desiree Ross. So just to clarify, Desiree Ross _ on Instagram, the Desiree Ross on Twitter, and official Desiree Ross.
Girl, you need to combine
Facebook.
all that.
Yeah. But she said I'm leaning back because you can't stop me.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. See you.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.